Alright, guys, with everything that's going on, I thought, wouldn't it be fun, since I'm doing just regular stuff at home, it's like, wouldn't it be fun to show you guys how I make my salsa? Pico salsa, like a pico salsa, like chopped salsa, and my Spanish rice. And hopefully you guys don't judge me too harshly. I've only started cooking. I mean, I've always helped my mom in a Spanish cultured home. The girl always helps out their mom. So I've always done that. But I never really took the whole cooking thing on my own. So I never did it on my own. I was always having my mom's help. But until I got married, that's when I started doing it all on my own and figuring things out. And I'm not the best, nor do I claim to be, but I think I finally got my salsa down, and my rice, it's like a hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes bad. It just comes out too soggy or whatever. But I thought it'd be fun to take you guys along with me cooking my salsa and my rice. So let's get started. Okay, mis amores, please excuse the angle. My kitchen is not the biggest. It has a peninsula.
I want more strawberries.
Stuff that you're gonna need for your rice anyway is a cup of rice. Any rice preferably, it's up to you, whatever rice you wanna use. A can of tomato sauce. I know some people make their own tomato sauce, but I use a can and it works perfectly fine. And caldo de pollo seasoning, which is this one from Knorr. I use the one that has, I think it's less sodium. So, and some rice. Lord, some salt. Yes, I have my big ass oil from Costco. Ding, Kirkland brand. Yes, so oil. So that's all you need for your rice. So we're back. Okay. Well, I am gonna start off with a taza of rice, whatever rice you like. So let's get that started. Okay. This is how I measure it. I don't use a measuring cup. I actually use a real taza. Okay, so get that taza going. And measure it to the top. I am using my hatma right now. I know rice is running really low as of right now. So if you're lucky to find rice, hold on to it for dear life. Mess. Why am I such a mess? Why am I such a mess? And then you pour in your rice, and then you're gonna clean it. So let me run it through the sink. All right, I have my water in there. I'm just gonna clean it out. If you guys see anything, you might wanna take it out, pick it out. Go again. And then you see that one, I'm gonna drain it out. I usually just do it once, but I'm just gonna hold at the edge, let the excess run off. So I'm just letting my rice dry up the excess water that I didn't drain, and do that. While that dries, I'm gonna start my salsa. Okay, for mi salsa, I use long onions. I don't typically use the big old long onions. I was trying to be in the funk. But these are the only ones that I found in the store, so I'm just gonna make it work. Okay, so long onions, preferably the smaller ones. These are more for carne asada, but to put on the grill, but yeah, you can still use these, whatever. Next thing, cilantro, bitches, cilantro. Okay, cilantro, onion, check. Third item, tomates. I usually use about, geez Louise. Yes?
What's that?
Tomatoes. I usually use about 2, just because it's only me and my husband that really eat the salsa. So usually about 2, just depending how much salsa you want. You can always add more tomato. Long onion, cilantro, tomatoes, and yes, some lime. I usually use about half a lime, just because I don't want my salsa to be too soggy. Okay. And then you is also gonna need the salt otra vez. Okay. See. Let's get back to the rice. Okay, now my rice is drying up, and I know this because it's kind of sticking to the pan, just because neglected it for a little bit. So just want to make sure it's nice and dry. And now I will pour a little bit of oil. Just a drizzle. It might seem like a lot, but it's just a drizzle. Okay, so that's sizzling. Let's wash my produce. Don't forget about your rice. I'm still stirring it in the background until it gets like a nice brown, and I'll show you what that looks like. But I'm still stirring it with the oil in there that I previously put in. So make sure, don't forget about your rice while you're chopping up this salsa. Okay, so with the onion, I like to chop off the ends. Just a little bit, not too much. Just because it's a little browner. And I'll use one of my other little bags to put all my trash in. So I just keep it nice and organized. Down there. There's my trash bag right there. So let's just start chopping. Since this onion top is a little bigger than I would like, I'm gonna re-chop that up again. I didn't have the little one. Just re-chop of that, a little smaller. And I have some big onion pieces in this one. Okay. Now this is what it would look like if it weren't so huge. And now I'm just gonna chop little pieces. This is around how thick I stick to the size of when I'm chopping up my onions. The finer chopped salad on the onions and cilantro, the better your salsa is gonna be. But usually it takes you longer. Onions. Now the tomatoes. Everybody chops tomatoes differently. How do you do it? I will take off the end here, and then I go across one way, this way, kind of halfway through the tomato, so diagonal this way, and then I'll go across the other way. And it forms the squares for you. See? So straight, and then I'll just go straight down. And I have little squares, and that's what I want to see right there. See? So just do that. Keep rotating my tomato to get all the squares off, and then once I see that it's flat, I repeat the process again. So that's one tomato. Let's do the other one. Okay, there's my second tomato in there. And now cilantro. It's very tedious, but I like to just take off the little leaves off of my stems. So I'll do a good bunch. I'll have my stems, I'll grab my leaves and separate them to the bunch that I got. This is very tedious, but if you don't have stems in your salsa, I feel that the salsa comes out, tastes better without the stem of the cilantro. Okay, now with my rice, it's got a little golden brown. I put up the heat just because it was taking too long, but you want it to be a little golden brown. And then when you feel it is a little golden brown, get my can of tomato and pour it in. The whole can, and then I'll get my same cup that I used to pour my salt, my rice in. I'll use 2 cups of water. There's 1. And 2. Okay, I'll stir that a bit. Just mixing it all together. And now I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of my salt and about a tablespoon of my caldo de pollo seasoning. Boils, then I'll turn it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll be here for a minute. Okay, now that I've got a good bunch of cilantro, I'm just gonna chop this up finely. It starts sticking to your fingers. That's usually a good sign that you're done chopping it up. Got all the little pieces. Okay. Put that into my salsa. Rinse my hands. Okay guys, so my rice is boiling, so now I am going to turn it down to a low. Okay, once it has boiled, you see it's gone down. Key thing about rice, my mama told me, is you don't want to touch it and stir it after. So you just leave it be and do its thing. And before I would always stir it and re-stir it and just make sure all the ingredients were all put together. But I think this has definitely worked for me. So if you're like a big stirrer, just leave it, let it do its thing, and I promise your rice will turn out better for it. So let's just leave the rice. Okay, back to my salsa. So cilantro, tomato, and onions are in there. Let's get my lime and pour some lime in here. Just half is enough for 2 people, so get your lime. Okay. And then with the salt, again, no precise thing. I kind of go over it twice. So just a light hand drizzle. Go over it twice. I mix it. I have my husband test it for me every time. He'll tell me if it needs more salt. He's my salsa tester. I'll add salsa again. Sorry, salt again. And that's it, guys. If you want a little kick in your salsa, I recommend a chile serrano, just 1. And that will give a extra bite of kick for your salsa. The salsa is done. I know it seemed longer with all my running back and forth, but salsa is fairly easy to make. Ahí está la salsita, pico de gallo style. I already started picking at my rice, but usually I'll know because all the water is dried up. And I'll turn off the heat and just let it do its thing for another 10 minutes. And turning off the heat and let it sit for another 10 minutes.